So if you're running meta campaigns and your ROAS that you see there is 4 or above, and it probably is, generally speaking, the conventional wisdom is that is a profitable campaign and you should continue running. And you might even decide to increase your budget there because things are looking profitable. Now, if you're a DTC supplements brand owner, which you probably are because you're watching the active ingredient, and that's what all of my videos are about, is owning and running a DTC supplements brand profitably, I want to tell you that you should ignore that number and ignore that conventional wisdom because it's wrong. And even more importantly, most likely those meta campaigns could be killing your business. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. I'm super excited for today's video. So if you're a DTC supplements brand owner, you're definitely going to want to watch this. This one is critical because it implicates the growth of your business and really is going to teach you a super important element of running paid social campaigns that you may not have heard about, but I know this one's going to help you out. I'm Erin Cardone. I'm the founder of Legendary Ecom Growth Partners. We are an e-commerce agency that exclusively helps DTC supplements brands between $1 and $5 million in annual revenue grow and scale your business profitably. Whether you're considering an exit or a merger or not, we are here to help you grow your business. That's all that we do. I am a former Shopify brand owner myself, so I know what it's like to sit on your side of the table, making those budgeting decisions, trying to make the right call around your marketing in order to grow a brand. I successfully exited my brand after 2 months on the market. I'm super proud of what I accomplished. Getting there wasn't easy. You know what I mean. So I'm here to help you learn from the lessons that I learned in your seat, but also help you learn not just agency theory or marketing theory, but what the research and data actually shows will help you grow and your brand profitably online through your ecom channel, through the work that we're doing with real DTC supplement brands clients. Let's start today by explaining what I mean by ROAS, which I mentioned earlier in this video. Now, if you're not aware, ROAS is a number that you'll see on all of your marketing reports, and it's agency jargon or marketing jargon for return on ad spend. Really similar concept to return on investment. It's basically the dollars that you spent on that marketing channel. In this case, we're talking about Meta, versus what came back to you as revenue from those ad campaigns. And as I mentioned before, ROAS is generally speaking an indicator of health and profitability with your campaigns, whether that's on Meta or Google or TikTok or any other channels that you're managing. Now, the thing that you need to know is that the ROAS number that you're probably seeing is called blended ROAS. And what I mean by that, and what that means across the board, is that it's combining the return on ad spend that's coming from your new customers, so customers that you're acquiring who have never purchased from you before, plus returning customers, so customers who have purchased from you in the past. They might be subscribing to your subscription program. They might be on your email list. They already know who you are. And chances are those folks probably would have purchased from you anyways. So the reason why that matters is because that blended ROAS number that you're seeing, which is what Meta reports to you right in their own ad dashboard, and what most agency or marketing reports will show, is that blended ROAS number. What you're not learning from that number is whether your business is actually growing or not. What I mentioned before about returning customers is critical, because what if, let's say you're spending $10,000 a month on your Meta ad campaigns, okay? What if 60% of that money, $6,000 a month, is going towards customers who would have repurchased for you anyways? Is it really worth spending $6,000 to get reorders that you would have already received through your subscription program, through your email marketing? Is that the best place to spend your money? Now, that other $4,000, how efficient is that at acquiring new customers? Why that matters is because new customers are what are growing your business, and the returning customers are maintaining your business. So we really need to split those two apart in order to know whether your ad campaigns, and we're talking about Meta today, but this applies to any channel, whether those campaigns are helping you grow your revenue, or are they maintaining existing revenue with a cost? And the reason this matters most to you as a supplements brand owner is that your repeat customers are repurchasing frequently, right? Let's say you buy a bottle of a supplement or a package of a supplement. Now, generally it lasts something between 30 to 90 days on average. And most likely when that customer runs out, they're probably going to repurchase for you and from you. They've probably subscribed, more than likely. They're probably subscribed to your email marketing, so they're going to get your post-purchase reminder, something like that. So what I'm really trying to tell you is that if your campaigns, let's say on Meta, are not acquiring you new customers at a reasonable and profitable cost, then you're really just spending money to run in place. And if you're trying to grow, which you probably are, that is a big problem for you, right? Okay, so you're probably wondering, what should I be looking at to know whether my Meta campaigns, for example, are actually getting me new customers for my brand? And here's the sticky thing that bothers all marketers and brand owners. There is no clear way to measure new customers acquired from your Meta campaigns. And here's why. The Meta ads platform doesn't report that, okay? It can try, but the accuracy rate on the number that it's going to show you is actually only 40 to 60% accurate. Here's the reason, and you might even be an example of this, right? You might have set up your Facebook account back in the day with an old email address that you probably don't even use anymore. You only really use it for logging in to Facebook, and honestly, that is me. And then when I purchase something through a brand, I'm using a new email address or a different email address. And at the end of the day, with the iOS privacy changes that came into play, this is several years ago, Meta can't accurately track all customer journeys from viewing or clicking an ad to purchase and then back again. And so this has the effect of, okay, the email address that's in your Shopify system, let's say you're running Shopify for your e-commerce store, doesn't match that kind of customer profile on Meta. And therefore, they can't actually exclude the customer who bought from you with that maybe new email address from seeing your new customer acquisition campaigns. So that accuracy element is a big problem. Now, there are some attribution tools that help sort this out for brands. One of the ones that I love is Triple Whale. There's another one called Northbeam. But if you've ever looked into these platforms, these attribution tools, you'll know that they're not cheap. Triple Whale, for example, can run in the range of, let's say, $600 to $1,500 a month plus for their attribution system. So for larger brands, totally worthwhile. For smaller brands, that can be a lot of cost to invest just to know whether your Meta campaigns are getting you new customers or not. Probably not worth it just for that singular reason. But the good news is that I'm going to help you sort that out today in this video, and that's why you're going to want to watch. I am happy to tell you that I built a proxy. That's what this video is all about, that can help you get there. Now, my proxy that I built for you is not 100% accurate either, but I can tell you it's going to get you a lot closer than what Meta is reporting to you. And it's also going to be closer, more than likely to than what your kind of Shopify dashboard of new versus returning customers is going to show, because that probably isn't relevant to your Meta campaigns. I'm going to get into that in a second. But first, what I want to say is, why should you care? Well, most likely, if you are running Meta campaigns and you do have a high ROAS, whether you're running that in-house or you've got an agency team or a contractor running those campaigns for you, if they see a high ROAS, usually what happens is they're going to recommend that you scale your spend there, right? Because every marketer, trust me, every marketer likes to see a high ROAS number on the performance report. And you probably do too, because if they explain it to you, this is your return on ad spend, it's an indicator of profitability of the campaigns. Things are looking great. Let's spend more. But like I said before, if you're spending more to get repeat customers that have already purchased from you and were most likely going to repurchase from you again via your Meta campaigns, it's honestly a waste of money for the most part. You really need to know whether or not that channel is getting you new customers or just recycling them. And so scaling spend on a channel that's just recycling customers for you is not a good business practice. That's going to hurt your profitability. In the end, you're just burning money there. So just to kind of close the loop on that, the only reason to scale spend on any channel, whether that's Meta or Google or TikTok or your SEO or whatever, is that you're truly acquiring new customers for your business that's going to help you grow, but at a reasonable cost that's not going to burn your retained earnings. And so that's what I'm going to get into today is this proxy that I built for you that's going to help you determine whether or not it's safe to scale your meta spend, because on Meta, it's the hardest place to really find that new customer percentage that you're acquiring through those campaigns. I'm super happy to help you with this tool that I built. Let me explain to you how it works. The proxy tool that I built for you is called the Meta Profitability Scorecard, and it's a fillable tool where you can actually plug in your own data and determine whether your Meta campaigns are not only profitable, but are they acquiring new customers for you, okay? 100% free. You're just going to grab the link and make a copy and fill it in. But let me first explain to you how this works so you kind of get an idea of what you're going to be doing here, okay? So the first step is to go into your Shopify dashboard or whatever e-commerce platform that you're using. With Shopify, you're going to go under on your admin dashboard and then find the analytics, which is usually on the left, and then go to the customers tab. Okay, so there you're going to find your total customers. Use a window of say 30 days, or you might want to use the past 12 months. Okay, and so you're going to notice your total new customers. And then you're also going to take a look at that returning customer rate, which is a percentage. Now, your verified new customer rate is simply a calculation within Shopify. It's simply a calculation of 1 minus your returning customer rate. Okay, so that's the figure that we used here. So this is going to give you a first party based on your Shopify data percentage that doesn't depend on Meta's own loose and inaccurate email matching that I explained to you before. It's just going to be using your own unique backend data. Okay, next, you're either going to go into your most recent marketing performance report or go right into the Meta Ads Manager, and you're going to see the revenue that Meta reported it drove to your site within that same period. So if you looked at 30 days, look at 30 days in Meta. If you looked at 12 months, look at 12 months in Meta. Now, divide that number by what you spent on your Meta ads during the same period. That gives you your proxy number for your new customer ROAS from Meta. It's not perfect, I know. The Meta attributed revenue has its own biases, just like it's really related to the problem that I told you before. But it's going to get you about as close as you can get to without using one of those attribution tools that I talked to you about. And the scorecard breaks it down really nicely for you. It makes it super easy to use so that you can get away from trusting a blended ROAS number, which is going to be super inflated from your Meta ad campaigns, and really get a way closer look at what Meta is doing for you in terms of driving new customers making a purchase from your site. There's one more step to this proxy that I want you to take because it's important. So what I want you to do after you've done that work in your Shopify backend and compared it against your Meta derived revenue and your Meta ad spend, and that's going to be to take a look at the new customer percentage that Meta is reporting to you. So you can usually find that in the Meta ads dashboard or ask your marketing team for that. It's there in one of the performance columns. And you're going to compare that to the number that you found in your Shopify backend. And there's going to be a variance there. And what I want you to do is take a look at that variance because that's going to tell you how accurate Meta's reporting is versus what Shopify is telling you. So I guarantee you're going to see a variance of some kind. Now, if that variance is 15 points or less, then it's pretty close to what's in your Shopify backend, and most likely, at least for the time being, and you should probably redo this exercise every now and then, you can probably more or less trust what Meta says your new customer acquisition rate is on that channel. Now, if you're kind of between that like 15 to 25 percentage points range, Meta's overclaiming, as we know as marketers, and your true new customer ROAS is probably lower. than what your proxy that I'm giving you is going to suggest. If it's anything over 25 percentage points, things are just blown totally out of proportion. Significant overclaiming happening by Meta, and it's taking credit for a lot of new customer activity that's not actually coming from that channel. Now, on the flip side, if there's actually a negative variance, then Meta, and this can actually happen, Meta could be underclaiming the new customers that it's acquiring for you. So what I'm saying is if there is a negative variance, you're actually getting more new customers from your Meta channel than what Meta is reporting. And that is a great sign that you're definitely going to want to think about scaling. I'm super excited for you to try out the Meta Profitability Scorecard. Please give it a try. As I said, it's totally free. So you're just going to grab it from the link that I dropped into the description. Make a copy. It's like a spreadsheet that you can put into your Google Drive or download it as an Excel document. Plug in your own numbers today and see how it works. And I'd really like to know, by the way, what you think about this. And tell me what kind of a variance you said. You can just drop that into the comments. I'm curious to see what brands are noticing in terms of the reporting variance between what Meta is showing you and what your Shopify backend is showing you. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you see. I'm also going to be sending you, if you download the scorecard or grab the scorecard, I'm also going to be sending you a guide that really walks you through the theory step by step behind how the scorecard works. So hopefully it'll help you understand why we need to go through this exercise every now and then a little bit better. That is it for today's video. I have another one coming up soon. I'll be publishing that next week. That's going to get deeper into this. I'm going to help you understand whether your Meta ads are working and what to do next once you have a more or less credible new customer ROAS from your Meta campaigns. So keep an eye out for that one.